So my post is kind of weird. My question is kind of weird. So I'm gonna ask you guys this, and then I'm gonna kind of go into it's gonna be the root of my question. Do you think there's ever a time in your life where it's just good to be selfish? Because they always say like being selfish is bad. Like, what are the benefits of being like right now? You can be selfish and you're kind of married. Like, what it's all about me. And so I was listening to Childish Gambino the other day, and this is what made me think about it. He said, and it's a song called "Kids." The only thing I put before me is do re. If you told me,
I get it.
If you had told me the truth, we'd be okay. Because I think a lot of times people are so busy trying to appease other people that they lose themselves. And sometimes just the truth, like, hey, just being truthful. Like, I'm not ready for this. I'm selfish. I'm not there yet. When is it time to be selfish? And what are the benefits of that?
Your time. Be selfish with your time. The Purpose-Driven Life, written by, I think his name is Pastor Rick Warren. He's one of the first people that pointed that out to me when I read his book, that time is like really the only thing you can't get back. If you lose money, you can go out and earn it again. If you lose a girlfriend or a boyfriend, you can find another one. Time you can never, ever, ever get back. So be selfish with your time. If you don't want to go, if you don't feel like doing it, don't. Be selfish with your time. Prioritize. This kind of like goes into the question Nicholas Ramsey asked last week. Prioritize your time, man. I think that is one of the perfect times to be selfish, is when it comes to managing your time. And I think it's perfectly okay to be selfish. Look, you have to, as Ambrosia said, protect your peace bubble. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that requires you being selfish, because when you start trying to please everyone else, then you stress yourself out. Look at Christmas. Look at how stressed out people get around Christmas time now, to where they feel like they have to get something for everybody they know. You know what I mean? And they're stressing themselves out. And I believe that time of year is a high depression rate, as a matter of fact. But be selfish with your time. Make you happy. Make sure that you're happy. It's good to make other people happy, but that can't be your priority, because if you're not happy, then you can never be in a position to bring anybody else joy. Take care of you. Take care of self. Be selfish. I'm all about being selfish, man. Now, when it comes to helping others with, if you have the financial resources to help others, then obviously that's not a time to be selfish. If you can help someone, I think it's great to definitely help somebody out in need. But like I say, I can't hit on this enough. When it comes to your time, be selfish.
I like that. What you got, Razzie?
Y'all know what I'm gonna say. Your money. I pictured that Dave Chappelle. They own your money. Oh, Lord. I say that tongue in cheek, but at the same time, like, truthfully, do worry about yourself. Like, when we talk about budgeting and finances and everything, we always talk about paying yourself first or whatever. Being selfish with your money doesn't necessarily mean that you don't give money away or whatever, or you don't help, or you don't give to charities. What it means is make sure you're straight first. Like, so, you have to make sure that retirement's good. I can live. I'm not overextending myself. I know people who had 60, 70, 80, $100,000, and as family came, oh, I need 5,000. Oh, I need 10,000. Can you help me with that? Can you help me with that? And eventually it got down to where they almost had nothing. So like, be selfish to the point where you're straight. And like, to piggyback on what you talked about, Buff, being selfish with your mental state, like your emotional happiness, your mental happiness, making sure that you're straight first in everything that's happening. So you have to make sure that whoever you bring around you is filling into you, they're pouring into you. You got to make sure that your relationship, the other person in your relationship is pouring into you and making sure that you're straight. So for me, I don't think being selfish is a horrible thing, even in a relationship. It's putting yourself first, but at the same time wanting to give to the other person. So it's a real hard balance. But if you make sure that you're straight and that person is making sure that you're straight, you can be selfish at the same time as giving to that person, because that person is making sure you're straight too. So if you have a reciprocal type of relationship with that person, then you can give to them. But if you're giving to them and they're not giving back to you and filling back up what you're giving to them, then that relationship's unevenly yoked, as the Christians like to say, and y'all need to move on. You need to be doing something else with your life, not with that person. So be selfish, even in relationships and everything. As long as your emotional state is the forefront, you're going to be better for everybody else.
Man, you guys said a mouthful, so I agree with everything you said. So I'm going to add on to it, and I think I'm going to say the earlier you learn this, the better you are. So it's about putting your mask on first. You know, that's what they, you know, when you get on the plane, they tell you the earlier you learn how to put your mask on first, the better. So I think because the question is, none of us question that. It's the why do people struggle so much to be selfish, and they're selfish around the wrong things or at the wrong time, or their selfish becomes a negative thing. So for me, I think the earlier you learn it, I think when you're in your teens and your 20s, and especially when it comes to relationships and things like that, this is a time to learn how to be to make being selfish positive. Relationships and stuff like that. It's about me right now. It's not about when I have no other dependents. Life should be about me. It's about my time. You know, if I'm dating or whatever, I can't have a girlfriend pulling away from my time. That's going to hurt me. I can't, especially when it comes, I'm all about energy. I have to be selfish with my energy. And the sooner you learn how, that's why I didn't like to keep a lot of drama, because it's just like, I got to that peace bubble. Like Ambrosia said, I learned how to protect. I feel like my peace bubble at a very early age. I tried not to keep up drama. I tried to be, yeah, she's nice, or this is going on, but I can't be a part of that, because I have to put my mask on first. So eventually I can help others. When I get to the point where I can come over and put on your mask, then we're good. But man, that energy, time, your finance, I think all that runs the same thing, but you have to learn it. The earlier, the better, because it sounds so easy and it sounds so like, man, that just makes so much sense. But so many people struggle with being, I don't want to say positively selfish, but
no, it's difficult. It's difficult, man, because and in my answer, I want to make it clear. I gave the answer I gave, but it's not always easy to do that. It's not always easy to be selfish with your time, because the flip side of this, you will feel bad at times if you tell certain people, no, you're not going to do it, or you can't do it. It'll make you feel bad, like, dang, man, should I have, you second guess yourself at times. Should I have gone? Should I have did this? But you got to make peace with your decision and make sure how you're feeling, trumps whatever you do. It's all about that peace, man. But I don't want to make it sound like it's extremely easy to do. It can be difficult sometimes to be selfish with your time, or as Rozzy mentioned, with your money. Like the example he gave with the person that had $100,000 kept giving to his family. That's how so many athletes go broke. They don't know how to tell their family no. Oh man, I took you to get your first haircut. Oh man, I used to throw the ball to you. You know what I'm saying? And you just wind up, you feel obligated.
But I think because at a certain point they never learn how to be selfish early enough. I think the earlier you learn, the earlier you impart that in your kids, like, hey, this is gonna come a time in your life where it's all about you, and that's not a bad thing.
But it's because the word selfish has such a negative connotation behind it, right? And that's the thing. It's like you you always teach your kids share, don't be selfish. Like, and there's never a point where you start teaching the nuance of it. It's never a point that you stop saying, hey, share with everybody, or, you got to be nice to everybody, and start swinging it to, all right, yeah, you got to be selfish. Like you said, you got to protect your time. You got to protect yourself first, put yourself first, and then worry about everybody else, which is selfish. It really is, but it's not a negative selfishness. I think teaching moderation and teaching them that you have to be selfish to a point. Like, you can't ever give back time. You can't ever give back money. You can't, it's not one of those things where you just say never help, but it's you help when you have the excess to help. Even if you earmark it, like, you might not have a whole lot of excess because, your spending expands for your income, right? So you're always going to spend more as more you make. But that's why you earmark it and say 10% of my money. The church was right about the whole tithes thing or whatever. If you don't want to give it to the church, give it to another charity. But that whole earmarking 10% to say I'm going to do something for other people with this part of my money, that lets you make sure that it's there. No matter how much money you make $10,000, you can get $1,000 away because you're already earmarking it out. It's gone in your mind before you start spending the rest of your money. So it's finding the balance.
But I don't want to give 10. I want to give 5. Am I being selfish? Is that bad? Like,
you are being selfish, and I mean it's up to you. It's how you make yourself feel. If as long as you still feel positive about it, then oh well. That's my whole thing is if you feel good at the end of the day, like, you're comfortable with how much you gave back, how much time you put back. Because for me, 5% in cash might be good, but I might give 20% of my time. You know what I mean? If I'm only giving 5% of my time and my energy to the community, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So, I'm expanding there. So it just really depends. And truthfully, me giving 5-10% of my time is probably worth more than 10% of my, my income when it comes
you
down
make a lot of money, so.
I don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, you do.
I'm third on the group. Keep telling y'all that.
We're not gonna have this conversation. But I mean, I agree with you guys. So it's just I urge our people to go out there and learn how to be selfish the right way. And then at the end of the day, it's up to the people that you're involved with, that you interact with, to see how they want to deal with it, because they might have to be selfish and potentially cut you out their life. Like, because me taking care of me doesn't give you what you need. Maybe it's time for you to be selfish and say, you know what? I need somebody that's going to give me more. And you have the right to do that. Don't try to fault that other person. Don't try to make them feel bad. Just know what you know. Be selfish about yourself. And I think it all works out. So let's go ahead and do these parting shots, fellas.
I'll jump in first, man. Folks, reach out to any, especially Afghan vets that and make sure they're straight. A lot of them are hurting right now. Let them know that what you did matter. Whether, in the grand scheme, what America didn't matter. What you did matter. When you got over there, you did your job. You kept other soldiers safe. You helped the country. You did what you could for that country, regardless of the end state of this thing. So reach out to them, because I've seen some posts and even had some soldiers that were like, what did we do? Especially the ones that have a lot of survivor's guilt and everything like that. They're already feeling bad because they got to come home and their friends didn't. And now they're looking at, my friend died for nothing, is how they're feeling right now. And so reach out to them, tell them, that they didn't die for anything. They died so that you could come home safe. They died so that, others could come home safe. They made that ultimate sacrifice for their brothers in arms, not necessarily for the mission or whatever. So just remember that, and let them know that you love them, man. And anybody that's listening, worst case scenario, I love you.
Well said, Rozzy. I'll be brief.
For me, I love you. That's big.
That's tough for him. Yeah, that's real tough. I just got 2 movies I want to tell the people about that I enjoy. I See You, which is on Amazon Prime. It was one of those movies to where I usually sit back and watch a movie and be like, oh, I know what's about to happen. This about to happen. After about the 3rd time of saying that and being wrong, I just shut the hell up and just enjoyed the movie because it had some really good twists and it turned out to be a good movie. Also, I believe this is new on Netflix, Sweet Girl with Jason Momoa. That was a pretty good movie too. It had a twist that it's not all that surprising, but the way they did it, it was pretty cool. And when you see it, it will remind you of another movie as far as the twist goes. But I don't want to. If I mention that movie, then you'll already know what the whole movie is about. There's 2 good movies for you to check out.
I appreciate that. See how you did that, Rise, without spoiling the movie?
Mm-hmm.
That take note. So by now, I think most kids are going back to school starting next week if they haven't already started. And I just want everybody to. I'm praying for your kid's safety, your safety, mental peace bubble, because this is going to be a really tough year. I hate bringing up the pandemic every episode, but these are trying times. People, listen to your healthcare professionals. Do what you can to protect your family. And that's real big. And last but not least, the bright spot, one of the brightest spots of my week was I watched Disney What If, and the 2nd episode where they had Prince T'Challa played by Chadwick Boseman. And it warmed my heart to hear him and to know that they planned this out a while back. And the way they portrayed his character just showed the admiration and respect they had for him as a person, his character, the Black Panther. I mean, this dude was pretty much Black Superman, could do no wrong. And I really appreciated that. So if you haven't watched it, go, it's not Black Panther, it's not that, but it was just good to hear him one last time and one of his last roles. So check it out on Disney Plus. What If, the 2nd episode with Prince T'Challa. And that's it. Anything else, fellas, before we get out? 3 Brothers No Sense. Listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen, like, share, subscribe, comment, and most importantly, listen again. Did I do it right this time?
You messed up.
Yeah, man.
I'm keeping that in.
Yeah. Check out that new YouTube channel.
Do it.